Hello fellow traders, this is Paul Lemmel. Got a really good looking chart here on LTH, Lifetime Group Holdings. Excellent base pattern coming out of an IPO cycle, and I'm going to break down the cycles here in a minute. But first, before we dive in, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Really helps us reach more traders like you and keeps you updated on our latest trading tips. Also, we're looking for talent, maybe someone who's not locked into their own way of trading and is open to exploring a new outside the box form of cycle-based trading, which we use to swing trade equities and day trade indexes, SPY, QQQ, and futures. If you have any interest in that, DM me through our social media or email me at paul@bigkahunatradingclub.com and I'll give you more information. Also, the market rating right now is B4, which is an E+ market, so it's still in a bear channel. Still pretty risky market, but we do have a strong bar coming off the lows, so we'll just have to watch how the cycles unwind. Good chance that this follows through strongly if we get a retest of that mid bar off of that 37,000 pop on the index. So we'll see where that goes, but be careful, be cautious. Okay, looking at the cycles here on LTH Lifetime Fitness Group. Had a TM-3 cycle coming off of its IPO back in 2022, and then you had the key IPO cycle, which is a TY1. It's usually two cycles for the IPOs, and that's usually a TM5 or a TY1. TM5 was right there, but the TY1 has worked. If you had taken a break out of the TM5 on the IPO thinking you'd get follow through on it, it would have had a lot of heat on that pullback in that. But the TY1 worked perfectly. Had you taken a break out of that, yeah, you would have had probably 5 months of chop, and it did come back to the buy point, but it did hold pretty much right at the buy point and popped again. So where we're at right now, we got the key TM-7. That's another IPO cycle, and lately I'm finding a lot more of them operating off the TM-7 cycle, and that's what we have. We have really good strong setup on these retests in the PPP zones. You can see right here $10 PPP that it held on this pullback from TY1. Basically a triple bottom there, and then we took off again. We took out the IPO high back here, and we took out the TY1 cycle, so we have a higher low, higher high, and higher lows on the pullback. So we get a really strong cup and handle pattern. You know, this is kind of a sideways up cup pattern. It's a cycle-based cup and handle pattern versus normal cup and handle patterns are just based on a horizontal line straight across, but a cycle-based cup and handle can violate the prior pivots and then pull back and retest into that quite often. So you got a TM-7 cycle there, TM1 on a pullback. You got a retest of that $20 psychological price point with some air in it, 21.78. So it retested above that. That's a good sign of strength. And so you got outside of that, you got about a 0.5 BMI going into the PBC zone. That's really strong too. You have another TM1 up here, TM1 cycle. South channel violation was right above the $25 PPP. So this is a classic momentum chart pattern. Everything's working on cycles, price action, the whole momentum cut thing. So again, we're in a really good quality PBC zone. And again, we retested 25, that held. We're banging our head on a $35 psychological price point. Actually, $30 is a good PPP zone too, but we're getting a little bit crowded right there. But you can see right here, we got a little bit of air between the $35 PPP and that prior pivot. But this looks good for a breakout above the, or outside of TM1 for continuation long. So I'm going to give you some targets here in a minute when we come back. If you're unfamiliar with any of the trading terms I'm using, you can find our club lingo at bigkahunatradingclub.club/lingo. Okay, looking for a target on this. Seems like a pretty clear cut as far as the base BMI. Based on the cycle, TM-7 cycle line, we're about 1.9, probably round up to about 2 BMI on that. So if you took a 2 BMI break out of the cycle line, So 2 BMI breakout would be close to right around 85 bucks or so. It certainly seems realistic based on the quality of the price action. We're going to be breaking out of the PBC zone at close to 35 bucks. So at 100% gain, that would be 70 buck target, and 85 would be 150%. Sometimes a lot of times the basement supply at 100% will kill the trend, and 200%. And also when you get the breakout of a certain price zone, the late comers to the breakout will oftentimes create the selling pressure at, let's say if it broke out at 35 and you get a lot more people noticing it at 38 to 40. And so at 100% there, you're close to 80 bucks. And so that could happen to like a little bit over that 100% from a late breakout where more traders start to notice it. But if it really gets to be strong, don't be surprised if we get a 200% breakout of the PBC zone, which would be 66 plus 33, close to 100 bucks on it. So a really good looking chart. I expect this because of the vector on it. Even though it has a vector of 1.5, it's generally not that fast. You get a breakout, then you get some chop. Now right here, 59%. I still think this is probably going to be one of those 6 to 8 month minimum, maybe even going into a 1 year cycle on that. Could be more than that. Could be a long-term run if we get good fundamentals behind this company. Sometimes these stocks where they have real solid companies behind them, they're expanding nationwide, they can go on forever. Home Depot was an example back in the 80s when their stock just went crazy over decades. Whether or not Lifetime Fitness has that ability, you never know. Just keep an eye on it, and if you want to dig deeper into the fundamentals to give you a little bit more confidence, you might want to stick with it long term. But right now I'm looking for a solid run to north of 75 or 85 bucks based on the BMI and the breakout of the PBC zone. If you're interested in our trading style and want to join the club or get one-on-one coaching, head over to cycletradingtrading.com. Hope you enjoyed the video.